welcome back to another vlog. I hope you guys can see me okay. So I typically don't like to do this, but being that I am on a public platform, this platform does come with a level of responsibility. And in it was like a couple of vlogs ago, I made a statement and I was giving the girls, the bombshells that are content creators, some advice regarding trying to keep your audience female dominated and not to have try not to have a lot of men engage in your content and so on and so forth. So I made some statements, and I had a couple of, because we got the bombshells and the bombshanes. I had some bombshanes that came down to the comment section and got me together. See, here's the deal. When you are on YouTube, YouTube is a very intentional platform, which is why sometimes it just takes a long time for us to grow on this platform, because YouTube is very intentional about the type of audience that they're going to put with you as a creator. And they try to connect like-minded people. And I think that's one of the things that I missed when I made that statement. So not only are the women who are subscribed to this channel and enjoy the content like-minded, articulate, intelligent, well-spoken, well-thought, and meticulous and strategic in their thoughts, just like I am, the men are no different. And so because of that, one of the bombshells came down to the comment section, and he made a really good statement, and I just want to apologize. I think for me, I was simply going off of the spark of interest that I had when all of those guys started coming over here from TikTok, and they started just rummaging through my content. They didn't really take time to get to know me as a creator. And again, I never want to be insensitive to my male audience. And I always want to consider that there are men out there that are intellectual, that are smart, that are meticulous in their thoughts, that are strategic, that don't just make decisions, and also that are not led by lust. And unfortunately, guys, I grew up in the South. I'm a Houston girl. And unfortunately, that is just the culture of how it is where I live. And that's just what I'm used to. I'm used to men just, sexualizing everything, even the most sophisticated, educated, well-spoken, conservative women. Some type of way we still all get sexualized. And so I think sometimes we really fall into this thing of categorizing the men and putting them in one category. However, I appreciate the comments that were left, that, I do definitely appreciate the way that you guys expressed yourself, how articulate and well written your statements were, which also tells me a lot about a person. When I see how well people write, it tells me a lot, because it wasn't someone who just wrote anything. You can tell that these things were well thought out. And again, I'll just have to apologize. I cannot apologize enough, because again, you don't think that men are really sitting up and watching your content for the reasons that were listed, and I appreciate that. That means a lot. And so, I will definitely try to be, more careful about the things that I say, that I say in terms of just like, I don't want to generalize the men's girl. I don't want to generalize men or whatever, but those are just things. There's always going to be somebody that's going to be willing to show you a different side of the coin. And so, yeah, I felt bad when I read those statements. But what I do appreciate is how eloquent they were. I always appreciate that. And that's one thing that I've noticed about my audience. Like, I respect you guys as much as you respect me. We are like-minded. The bombshells and the bombshells are like-minded. This is a like-minded community. But what I learned is, not only is this a like-minded community, it is a well-educated community and an emotionally intelligent community. And I had someone else say something, but it wasn't mean and it wasn't rude. And so you guys are so well, you write so well and so eloquently, and the way that you guys express things, and it's like I like the fact that it holds me as a creator accountable, but it's not mean, rude, malicious, or whatever, because I think you guys understand that I'm always trying to speak to you with respect, and I'm always trying to be careful about my messaging, the things that I say, how I say it, because I truly don't want to hurt anybody in my stratosphere, in my community. I don't think that people understand that sometimes words hurt, especially when you have a high level of respect for the people that you watch. You enjoy their content, you like them. But they can just sometimes the word and the messaging, and you have to understand that your audience is just as intelligent as you are. And not only that, the audience has a home court advantage, because you guys gonna always know more about me than I will ever know about you. In addition to that, not only can y'all see me, y'all can see through me. Definitely one of those things like, yeah, I probably shouldn't, I probably should not have generalized, and that's okay, guys. I'm not perfect. I misstep sometimes, and I misspeak sometimes, but that's okay. But let me say this. Will I still be giving dating advice? Absolutely. I absolutely will still be giving dating advice from my perspective and my experiences. I just won't be making any general statements directly about the people that consume my content, be it women or men or whatever. So yeah, I ain't gonna lie, girl. There has not been many times I was left speechless, and there has not been many times where I just had to throw my hands up and be like, you know what? You right. Thank you guys for those very well written, intellectually stimulating comments. Hey girls, all right y'all, so we are at the thrift store by like this little highfalutin neighborhood, if you will, So anyway, this is supposed to be one of the better thrift stores, and I said supposed to be because in the past it was. And then all of the girls started finding out about this thrift store, and then they started running through it, and then not like after that, the other thrift store, Value Village or Value World as they call it now, girl, Value World burnt down. And unfortunately, when Value World burnt down, everybody started coming over here. We're at the Goodwill. And so what we're looking for is, like some really nice structured corporate girly type of wear. Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna get anything today. It really just depends on what they have. I'm sorry, girl, I'm trying to get these lips together. It really depends on what they have or whatever. And maybe when we leave here, we'll go over to Value World. They have another Value World location. It's not like it's not that far from here, so we'll maybe run over there. This is the color I was looking for, so yeah, we'll maybe run over there. You girls see I changed my wig out. Now I'm gonna be honest, girls, this wig is a certified head turner, baby. All the men's be looking, girl. So yeah, I actually got this wig from a company a few years ago, and I had to dye it because I'm gonna be honest, I hate when the root of the wig was like jet black, you know, and it stopped about right here, and then all of a sudden it progressed to like a really light color, and I just don't think that that's really flattering, you know what I'm saying, flattering to the face, the complexion. So I took and I kind of put some dye on it just to gradually lighten the wig up, you know, the root wasn't so harsh. It just looked really harsh to me, you know. So anyway, I just had to come in and tell y'all that I ain't gonna lie, girls, I haven't been in a really talkative mood. You know, I was waiting on some of those recruiters to contact me back, and I haven't heard from anyone. And it's only Monday, you know what I'm saying, but still, you know what I'm saying, you just have these certain expectations. I haven't heard back from anyone, and so I'm starting to feel a little bit like, I don't know, discouraged. But we can't afford to get discouraged. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep the momentum going. But anyway, I think I've talked enough. Let's go ahead and go into this thrift store and see what they have, so we can move on to the next store. But before we do that, let me put a little bit of lotion on these hands, girls. By the way, it is hot in Houston again. Now, it's not like hot where we can be back in like sundresses, but it's hot like, if you want to wear a light sweater like I have on and have your feet out, you can. And that's not going to be a problem. Ooh, yes, my hands feel like butter, honey. Okay, let's go ahead and go in here and see what they got going. All right, y'all, so it has been a minute since I have shopped in the Goodwill. So I'm going to be honest, girl, I don't even know where to start. Let me see. All right, girls, so I decided to start in the blazer section, and I honestly, oh, this is cute. Okay, wait a minute now. I was just about to say I'm kind of disappointed, but this is actually kind of cute. I don't know. The fabric, I like the gold buttons. Let's look at the back. Now, this is $9.99. I'm going to be honest. I like the buttons. I was looking for a navy blazer with gold buttons, but I don't necessarily like the fabric. So, and I want it to be a little bit more structured. So we're going to pass on that one. Girl, I'm trying to understand why Goodwill got some of these blazers for $20. I saw a blazer which was $30. And I'm like, girl, come on now. This is cute. But again, a little boxy at the waist. We want something that's going to be a little bit more structured. Oh, I don't like the sleeve on this. No, too stiff. No. 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 Oh my God. No. 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 Girl. Oh, look at this. This is cute. I would pass on it, but I do like, I like the texture of it, you know. Girl, wait a minute. Not the thing is ate all up around the neck, girl. I just feel like Goodwill, I think they just hang stuff up. I don't think that there is a quality, what is it? Quality control. I don't think they do any of that. I think they just get the stuff and just dump it out of the bag and hang it up. Yeah, I don't know, girls. I don't want to waste too much time here. I think we're going to end up going to Value World. It used to be called Value Village, but it's Value World now. I think that's where we'll go because I'm not seeing, oh shit. And then girl, these tags sticking all out, poking me. Yeah, I don't see anything really worth my time. Sometimes you have these really nice thrift stores, you know, nice areas, but like I said, they get popular, you know. When they get popular, you know, you're not going to be able to find the nice things like you were. So, okay, wait a minute. Okay, now these are a little bit more. Okay, this is the XXL. So, let's see, maybe if we get into the smaller sizes. I guess these are priced a little bit higher because I don't know. Zara, girl, not them trying to charge $20 for a Zara blazer. I'm gonna be really honest with you girls. At this point, we might as well go to Nordstrom's rack. I'm so like, we might as well. Cause I just don't. $29 at the Goodwill. I don't remember Goodwill being this pricey. All right, girls, we are on our way to the second location. I'm sorry if the camera is shaking, girl. Yeah, so I am very, I can't even say I'm shocked at the Goodwill. Girl, they just flip-flopped the prices. I said $30 for a blazer, maybe for home decor, a chair, you know, a little bit of furniture, whatever. But $30? I said, girl, get up out of here. Again, listen, girls. If it's going to be like that in regards to how thrifting is, I am better off just going to Nordy's. Because my thing is like, if it's already $30 at the Goodwill, Nordstrom's probably has a very beautiful, structured, gorgeous blazer, probably for maybe about $60. All you do, you would just add the 30 to that. And probably a really nice pair of slacks for $50. You know, and you have a versatile interview suit that you can wear to interviews, and you can break it up if you want to and have a few different looks with it. Even add a skirt to it if they have what's called a wardrober. I'm going back. That's what it used to be called, girl. You could buy the blazer, the pants, and the skirt, and it was called a wardrober or whatever. But yeah, so I'm like, okay, let me just go to Old Faithful, where I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I'm going to be able to find some stuff. All right, girls, so we are here. I actually looked around a little bit before I picked up the camera because I didn't want to be, you know, I didn't want to be too picky, but unfortunately, girls, I have not found anything. I mean, they have, you know, a better selection, of course, better pricing than the Goodwill, but I still have not quite found, you know, what I'm looking for. This is cute. Now, I can honestly say that they've gone up on their prices as well, but not as much as the Goodwill. The most expensive blazer that I've seen was $15, and it's a Banana Republic blazer. So I'm just kind of like, But anyway, so I guess we're going to have to keep looking or whatever. So let me just, yeah, I'm not looking for anything like that. See, and I feel like I actually have something like this at home already, and it's Banana Republic. Let's see how much this is. Yeah, $6.40. So I don't think that's a bad price. This is the section that I've already looked in, and I'm looking for just a really nice navy blue type of look. Girl, y'all look, this is an H&M blazer, never worn. It's $18 here, but if you would have bought this from H&M, it would have been $20. So I'm just like, what's the point? You're not saving anything. $2. Girl. Okay, so I did not call you girls back when I left the thrift store, but let me tell you, I stopped at the store. Girl, why did I see these two little kids in front of the store kissing like two dogs, girl, kissing like two German shepherds? And so I was just looking like, I'm gonna be honest, I wanted to say something to that little girl so bad. However, I know, like, as adults, sometimes, girls, we just gotta mind our business. Because I was like, okay, these new kids, they different. You know what I'm saying? They very different. And I was like, I don't have time for this little girl to snatch my titties and my teeth off of me. Then she backdoor snatched my wig off. And then I had a leather skirt on that already had a high split up the back. And one wrong move, the skirt would have ripped in half. So then I'm going to be naked and bald headed down to the damn HEB. I was like, When they first came out of the store, they was tussling over the pizza. So she had the pizza like, you know, upright. So girl, I guess they must have skipped school. I don't know what they did. They was basically out of school early, whatever. So I guess they decided they was gonna stop at HEB and get them 2 pizzas and a Pepsi. So she has the 2 pizzas, and it's the pizza that they make at HEB, and you got to go home and cook it or whatever. So she was holding it upright the way that pizza should be held. So she had the pizza in one hand and a big ass 2-liter of Pepsi in the other hand or whatever. So the little boy was trying to like take the pizza from her, and so she was like kind of like trying to like protect it so he couldn't take it. So eventually he was grabbing all on her, girl, grabbing on her jacket, whatever. So she eventually gave in and gave him the pizza so he could hold it. Well, of course, when she gave him the pizza, girl, he holding it all to the side. It's all slanted and shit. And I was like, wherever these kids are going, when they get there, it's not going to even be pizza no more. It's going to be a damn calzone. So anyway, girl, I don't know if they was waiting for their Uber. This fool gonna take the pizza and he basically wedges the pizza like on his, between his waist in like the brick wall at HEB or whatever. So he wedges it like that. At this point, his hands are free. Not only is his hands free, he like hugging on the girl. So then they starts kissing like 2 German shepherds, girl, kissing like 2 wild ass dogs. I was so like, y'all, I wanted to say something so bad to that little girl, but I left it alone. And so anyway, they kissing all rough. He grabbing on her, y'all. This little girl, like, she couldn't have been no older than like 16. She looked even younger than that. But anyway, so you know, like how we were as teenagers, like, y'all know you go through like a period of time in most of your little young life. You don't have no booty, you don't have no boobs. And then one day, it feel like it happened over the summertime, girl. One day in July, you wake up and you got some booty, you got some boobs. Girl, so you can tell like she just getting used to this little body. She probably went to sleep on Thanksgiving and woke up and had a new little body or whatever and just didn't know what to do with it. So anyway, he grabbing all on her. I'm like, she's just a young little girl. Girl, you ain't even had your new little body for a year. And you already letting somebody twist it, pull it, bop it. Anyway, so he just grabbing on her. And I hated that. And the reason why I wanted to talk to her over him is because like when little boys do stuff like that, other little kids that age, in that age group, they'll look at her and just think that they can do the same thing. It's just, you know, it's really not, it's not respectable. And I don't think kids at that age understand respect to a certain capacity in regards to public affection, but not only just public affection, just that level of the grabbing her boobs and her booty and stuff like that or whatever. And so to me, I just be feeling like other kids from their school will see them doing all of that, and then other little boys may try to do that. It may signal to them that that's okay, you know. And so I was like, wow. And so anyway, I didn't say anything, but I gave her the meanest mama look that I could. I tried to give her like the meanest mama look. Y'all remember that scene on Menace to Society when that man was like, you know, you did fucked up, don't you? Like, I tried to give her that mean mama look, so it must have worked. So when it worked, she was like pushing the little boy out for him. She was like, no, stop it, or whatever. So he stopped, you know, whatever, because she must have been like, that lady's looking, or whatever. They were like 2 Spanish kids, 2 like Mexican kids, or whatever. And so anyway, she did like start kind of looking a little bit embarrassed, because I was looking at her like, you know good and damn well, if your mama pulled up on you, Maria, girl, if Bertha pulled up on you and caught you, or if Juan pulled up on you and caught you, your mama or your daddy, you know that they would string your butt up by your toenails. I mean, and then I was even thinking about like the little boy. I'm like, even if his mama or his dad or his uncles would have pulled up on him, he wouldn't have got in trouble. His uncles, his uncle or his dad or whoever would be like, yeah, you were kissing Maria. We seen you kissing Maria. They probably would have laughed it off, but Maria was going to get her ass towed up. And it's like, you know that there's a double standard. Little boys are, you know, it's like, oh, it's okay because he's a boy. But as a girl, you're not supposed to be doing that. And that's fine. And so it's like, that's why it is important that you talk to your daughters. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying like girls are just as curious as boys. However, the society and the stigma and stuff, and it's just not a good look. It's not a good look for either one of them because they were so young. But the fact that he was just so aggressive, and another reason why, of course, I didn't say anything. First of all, they're not my kids. She's not my daughter. I had to mind my business on this one, but also at that age, I'm gonna say between the ages of like 13 and 17, girl, you can't tell them kids nothing, because if I would have said something, or even when I gave her that little mama look that I gave her that made her tell him to stop, all they was gonna do was walk around the corner and be kissing like two wild ass dogs at Walgreens. You know what I'm saying? Like, those types of lessons don't resonate with you until you get older. When she's in her 20s, she might look back and be like, oh my God, one time this lady told me not to be letting my boyfriend kiss me or whatever. Like, she probably would have thought about it years and years later. But at this age, you cannot tell them kids nothing. They think bullets and bacteria bounce off of their body. But that's why it is just like, it is so important, you know, that we teach these lessons. It's just a lesson of, you know, the way that you carry yourself in public. Now, I get it. I see like grown-ups doing stuff like that. Okay, but you're grown and you know how to self-regulate. You know what I'm saying? But as a little kid, a little girl that age, like just little kids in general, and I'm 2 times grown. So yes, when I say little kids, to me, someone that is 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, that's a little kid to me. Even 20s, little kid to me. And then you just, again, you think about those types of conversations. I grew up with a very, you know, my mom was very, very strict growing up. And I also grew up in neighborhoods with kids of all, you know, different cultures. Like, once we moved out of Third Ward, my mom moved us out of Third Ward. We moved into a neighborhood with, girl, everybody. It was a melting pot. Vietnamese, Black, Hispanic, every culture. And girl, them Hispanic parents be tough on them kids, on them girls. They be tough as hell on them girls. They don't fucking play. So I already knew that, like, if her mom and them would have pulled up on her, I'm like, you know, your mom and them ain't gonna approve of this shit. But yeah, so I don't know. Unless, the only way I would say that they probably didn't is if she had the cool mom. And I don't know, I was thinking about that the other day. Like, I am so glad that I did not grow up at a time where it was important that your mom was the cool mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have hated to grow up now, looking back, in a household where your mom was like, well, I'm just going to let her boyfriend spend a night over here because they're going to do it anyway. Like, I just think that that is extremely irresponsible parenting for young kids. Like, I watched this episode of 16 and Pregnant, girl. This was years and years and years ago. And it was this lady on there. She had a son. Her son had a girlfriend. But the mama did not want the girl to be with the guy. So the mama ran an interference and she broke that shit up or whatever. So they were not, the couple was not together. So of course, the mama was trying to put the little girl in all like activities, just basically keep her away from this boy. Y'all, why did the mom, the boy's mama, start lying to that little girl's mom and sneaking and letting that little girl come over there? Y'all, why did the little girl end up getting pregnant? And her mom was so hurt. And I don't blame her, because her mom did everything she had to do, but the little girl still was sneaking around. But it was the fact that it was the boy's mama that helped. And the mama was like, well, I couldn't watch my son. He was hurting. He was sad. My son, he was crying. And I was just like, so what? That, like, he would have gotten over, girl. The little boy wasn't even 16, I don't think. And so anyway, I was like, damn, you did everything you could do as a mom to protect your kid. But here come the damn neighborhood Sunny Delight mama. Y'all know the Sunny Delight mama, the cool ass. I'm going to let the kids hang out at my house and smoke weed and drink alcohol and just do what they want to do because I'm the cool mama. The cool mama then assisted her son and pretty much the little girl being pregnant. Y'all, it was a trip. I was like, damn, I wish I could find that episode of Sweet 16. I mean, not Sweet 16, but 16 and Pregnant. But yeah, or no, I think it's called Teen Mom. I think that was the name of that show. But anyway, I'm going on a rant. I just came here to tell y'all about that because it's just like, again, I'm not a mom. However, I do understand the importance of kids having, you know, agency over themselves and just having a level of respect. Like your respect for yourself has to outweigh your want for that person to be around. Like, and I think that that's something that has to be taught at a young age. It's okay to be affectionate. That's a natural thing. But that level of affection where the booty is being grabbed, the boobs are being grabbed, you know, it's just like self-respect has to be taught, agency over your body has to be taught, and the idea of that if you don't allow a little boy to do these things, he's gonna leave, and him leaving, and you being okay with that has to be taught. You know, the laws of detachment. Not only do we need to teach little girls about self-respect, but we need to teach them about detachment, because they were definitely at that pivotal age where maybe if she told the little boy no, or you know, maybe she was like, I don't think we should be doing this, you know, he gonna leave and go mess with a little girl that's okay with it or whatever. So yeah, I don't know, that was just something that was on my mind or whatever. But yeah, I don't know, girls. I could say parents need to do better, but I'm not going to say that. Number one, I'm not a parent, and number two, I think that a lot of parents are doing the best that they can. However, when them kids get dressed in the morning and they leave your house, you really don't have any control over what they do. All you can do is just pray and hope that they do the right thing and make the right decisions and align themselves with the right group of kids. But yeah, girls, so I am about to look over a few more job opportunities, and then I'm gonna take this makeup and stuff off, and then I guess get ready for bed. But if anything else eventful happens, girls, I'll make sure that I give you guys a call back. Hey girls, y'all, I'm getting ready to do a phone interview in a minute, but I have not talked to you girls. I've been feeling a little bit sad. I will be very, very transparent and honest. I've just been feeling sad, just trying to not fall back into depression. Basically, I just started feeling a little bit sad. Like, I don't know. I guess after the hack, sometimes you just don't trust yourself anymore. Like, I've been feeling very skittish about accepting sponsorships and stuff. And then also some of the sponsorships that were kind of on the line when a little bit prior to us getting hacked got held up because of the hack. And so, you know, it's like you go through these things and you don't anticipate loss of income, and you just pray that that income will come back. And so that's something that I've been feeling very down about, because I just felt like we were on a roll, we were on an upswing. So yeah, and then I had been waiting for a recruiter to contact me back, and you know, about this job situation. She finally contacted me back after, you know, waiting. Initially, she was supposed to get back with me last week, but she was basically like, the winter storm has caused a delay in the process, and we'll continue next week. And so next week was this week. She emailed me on yesterday, and she basically said the client decided to not move forward with you. And I just, you know, I thanked her gracefully, and that was it. And of course, you start to feel like, why? Even though you know your spidey sense has already told you this is not the best position for you. Guys, this company is individually owned. It's only 10 employees there. It's kind of like one of those companies that's been around, but there's no real structure in terms of human resources. There is no human resources. It's literally the owner, his wife, and a few employees under him. And so I did have my concerns, because I've worked for a company like that, and when I tell you it was a freaking nightmare, it was worse than a nightmare on Elm Street, girl. And so I was already kind of apprehensive, but you know, the salary was good, all of the perks and things that came with it was good. So anyway, today I decided to get on LinkedIn. I decided to get on Indeed and just start looking for more opportunities. Girl, why, when I got on Indeed, that position pops up. Not only did it pop up, but they are no longer being represented by an agency. They are now representing themselves as the company. So initially, when I found out about the job, you had to go through an agency. They're no longer doing the third party. So I guess they were not happy with the people that she submitted, and they changed the role. That was one of the biggest things that I was fearful about as well. That, and then also when she submitted the job requisition for me, maybe she just didn't look over it fully. But girl, on the job requisition she submitted to me, it was like, we're looking for a culture fit. And I understand, like, some people, when they see culture fit, they're probably thinking about how well is this person going to work out in this particular environment. But when I hear culture fit, I'm thinking about something completely different. So that the wording was concerning for me. Also, when she and I did that, she basically said they're looking for a culture fit, and that's really why it was necessary for her to do the Teams call with me. So we took it from a phone call to a Teams call. So yeah, I was concerned about that. And then also when she told me the next people that you'll interview with, she was like, they are very short, like in the way that they speak, they're very short and to the point when they talk or whatever. And so that's just how they are. That was alarming for me as well. And so she was kind of giving me some subtle little hints or whatever. And so I was just like, okay, she gave me some subtle hints. And so anyway, after that, we went over the job position. But anyway, I got onto Indeed. When I got on Indeed, again, I saw that they are no longer being represented by this agency. They are representing themselves. They changed the entire job requisition. Not only did they change the job requisition and what they want now, they changed the salary, and they lowered the salary significantly. Also, they changed the role from a PM role to an assistant PM role. They took a lot of the things off that they initially wanted. Initially, they just wanted someone that was in office and occasionally able to go on site to oversee the projects. They now say, we don't want someone who's just going to be on site to oversee and to observe. We want someone that is going to get involved in the actual process. Therefore, we want somebody that's going to know wiring, how to climb up a pole, how to swing around wiring, how to wire this wire. I mean, it was very, very hands-on heavy. And not only do they want that, they also want someone who can train contractors, like on-site training of contractors and how to do certain things or whatever. And so I'm like, okay, so they basically want a journeyman or an actual field technician disguised as a project manager, and that's fine. But I do feel like I dodged a bullet. And so, you know how when you read the Bible, it says, the battle is not yours. This is definitely a battle. The battle is not yours situation for me, and I do feel relieved. Yes, I'm disappointed because the money was crazy, but now knowing that it's the bait and switch, it wouldn't have even been worth it. In addition to that, the battle is not yours because God has his way of protecting us, and maybe we don't like the protection that he gives us, but it is necessary and it is mandatory. So if there is anyone out there, you've gone through the interview process, or you've been through as much as I have been going through in terms of trying to go back to work, just know that rejection is protection. And sometimes when these opportunities don't work out, it has nothing to do with us. Sometimes we're just being protected from a possible toxic environment. Sometimes we're being protected from a job where they're going to constantly move the goalposts, and you're just never, ever, ever, no matter what you do, you're never going to be right for the role because they're always moving the goalposts. And also sometimes rejection protects you from a company that lacks structure. So this company could have very well lacked structure, and who wants to be in an environment like that where one day it's this and the other day it's that? Oh, and the last thing I want to add is that on the interview, she told me there is a zero tolerance. Oh, there's a couple of more things. Number one, there was a zero tolerance policy where the minute something is wrong, if you don't report whatever you deem is wrong, or if you feel like you're gonna miss something or mess up on something, if you don't report that to management, it could lead to termination. Now, this was actually on the job requisition that she sent me privately. It was one more thing that was very concerning to me. Damn, I lost my train of thought. So anyway, girl, it was, it had its red flags, so I can't think of I hate that I cannot think of that one other thing. But anyway, the culture fit, that was a red flag. Zero tolerance was a red flag. She said they were short, though they can be really short and to the point. That was a red flag. There is no HR, that's girl, it was just, you know what, it was just too much. So anyway, girls, when these opportunities don't work out, I know it sucks, it is a bummer, but sometimes it's for the best. But what I'm about to do is just kind of finish getting myself together for this phone interview that I have. And I'm just gonna look over some stuff real quick with this, and then I'll give you guys a call back to let you know how it goes. All right, y'all. So I just finished with the interview or whatever. It was like a phone screening. They're looking for a group of estimators and project managers for a big construction. It's like a big construction project that's about to take place here in Houston. And so they need people for that or whatever. So they were looking for someone with a little bit more construction experience. And my experience is mainly like infrastructure, IT, security, corporate security, stuff like that. But anyway, I felt a little bit better like talking to this particular recruiter. Even though he's kind of like a straight shooter in a sense, I don't mind that. But I don't know. I just felt better. Now, let me say this, and I typically don't do this, but I'm going to do it today. I think a lot of my comfortability, is that a word? A lot of me feeling comfortable was the fact that he was black. I'm just going to be honest. I typically don't say stuff like that, but it was because he was a black man. Now, because he was black does not mean that I was like relaxed. I was still just as professional, as I always am. But I'm gonna be honest, it was a sense of relief. And the reason why I say that is because, guys, I don't know what kind of, conversations and stuff are being had, with these other types of recruiters, like the last company that they were recruiting for. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if they have a level of comfort with each other when they can say things like, oh, we really only want to vet, white candidates. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if the recruiter is white and the company that's hiring is white owned, I've always wondered if they had those types of conversations. I'm just going to be honest. And so it's just kind of one of those things where, at least if you get, a black recruiter, even if the company feels that way, they're not going to say that. You know what I'm saying? Now, I do understand that not all skin folk is kin folk. I get that. But there was a sense of relief. But again, I tend to not get very comfortable with people when it comes to interviewing. I don't care what race you are. I tend just not to do that, because professionalism it always needs to show up. You know what I'm saying? Maybe after we build a rapport, I might loosen up a little bit, but typically I don't. But anyway, so yeah, I'm feeling better. I needed to run up to the store really quick and grab a few things. But yeah, I just, wanted to come back and say, like, despite the fact that I've been feeling, I haven't been feeling my happy-go-lucky self or whatever lately, I think, like, sometimes the perception of the big bad wolf catches us, like, you be like, oh my God, I have so many things going on. I'm just overwhelmed. This is happening. But sometimes, girls, the way that you beat the big bad wolf is literally just getting out the bed. You know what I'm saying? Putting your feet on the floor. That's how I've been beating. That's how I've been beating up the big bad wolf. No matter how bad I feel, I still get up. I get out of the bed. I get myself together, and I do what needs to be done to, go to the next level or whatever. So I just wanted to tell you girls that I know we were supposed to be making this veggie plate or whatever, but I'm gonna be honest. I think once I wasn't able to find certain things, I was like, girl, forget it. So I want to make something quick and easy and comforting to eat tonight, but still on the high protein side. So I think I'm just going to make some nachos, but I like my nachos with a lot of meat, very little cheese, and lots of like, you know, like the queso, not queso, because that's cheese. Like a lot of the Rotel dip, like I know that sounds crazy. And I know I done made nachos before. Y'all probably was over there, girl, them nachos, baby, them nachos is drier than seaweed. But they don't really be dry. Y'all, I don't like cheese that much, girl. I'm not a cheese head like I used to be. So I'll just be trying to like make them like juicy and crispy and, you know, but just not too cheesy. So yeah, but that's when I'm about to run in Kroger. I'm going to run in here and go get that and get some trash bags. But anyway, I just wanted to come back and give you guys a little bit of an update of what happened. And I'll give you guys a call back when we get home. Or if something eventful happens down to the store, I'll pick you guys up, or I'll give y'all a call back then.